Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Um, Thank you for joining me and my team here today for July webinar. I'm hoping that we're going to get more people joining us. If not, we still have more webinars coming up. So this month, at least, the concept around this month is probably going to be for the next couple of months is around the Kaizen concept or the principle of Kaizen. So that's kind of what we're looking to today. I think you've seen, if you haven't had a chance, you can always go to our website, UbораOpEx.com. You'll be able to see that we have a series of things that we do. We do offer one-on-one consultations if you need one. We also offer what we call ebooks. So we have a couple of ebooks that provide you some ideas and solutions if you're trying to do something within your business. But we also offer e-learning courses. So that's another product that we offer. So if you're interested in any of those, just feel free to go to our website, www.ubora.com, and be able to explore the website, see the services we offer, and if you're interested, you can seek our services and products, and we'll be glad to offer to you. So that's one thing there. So talk about Kaizen. It's one of our concepts that we're offering. It's one of the products that we offer. It's one of the things we do. And one that we feel that every business should at least have or understand what the Kaizen concept is. So when we talk about Kaizen, based on some of the questions that I've received, and I'm going to go through a series of a couple of them. Kaizen is a Japanese word, but you can break it up into two. Kai means change, Zen means for better or for good. So you're changing something to a better state. So if it's a condition or a line or a process, you're changing it from what it is currently to a better state. So that's what Kaizen means. So basically, essentially means continuous improvement, if you want to look at it from that concept. That's why in many cases when people are talking about Kaizen, they're essentially talking about continuous improvement. You're working to change something from one state to another state, which is a better state, or from one condition to a better condition, or improve a line, optimize a line from one concept, or I would say from the current concept or the current operational concept to a better operational concept. It's a business machine that you're using. It's the same thing. You're trying to work around to make that machine run much better than it is today, or than it is you're doing. So that's kind of what Kaizen means. So Kaizen, sometimes one of the questions I received going through some of these is, how does it differ from other improvement methodologies? There's a lot of them there, of course. When we talk about, in this world of continuous improvement, we have concept around in Six Sigma, concept around TQM, concept around TPM, concept around, concept around 6As, anything you can think of. There's some concepts tied to it, problem solving as well. But Kaizen differs from a lot of those essentially because it is well encompassing. It looks into a lot of things around it. So it's probably one of the principles within Lean that will take care of a lot of business challenges in itself. It's very employee driven. You have to work with people within the organization, within the business to get there. It's bottom up. It's systematic. It's very systematic in terms of how you think about it, because you have to approach your business concept based on how you're performing, how things are going, and also creates a culture of value creation or value addition. So ways of thinking, your ways of thinking, people just kind of now think about how can I make things better, run better, operate better, kind of thing. So that's why it's very powerful. And I would think anyone can embrace that. So there's other questions that I see here that I've received as well is companies that have done Kaizen successfully. There's a lot of them in the world, from healthcare to manufacturing to warehouse, to service. There's a lot of them. So if you think about companies like Toyota, for example, one of the big ones out there, Honda, maybe Sony, Canon, we talk about Toshiba, we talk about companies like Nissan, Samsung. So there's a lot of them. McDonald's, of course, in the food industry. So there's a lot of them that have achieved great success by employing Kaizen methodologies. The other thing I see, the other question I saw people send me was some of the key principles and philosophy steps behind Kaizen. So, of course, we do have the five principles of Lean. But in this case, I think they're just mostly asking about the key principles in general of about Lean. About Kaizen, sorry, about Kaizen in general, specific to Kaizen and philosophy behind it. So when you think about Kaizen, like I said, it's a concept of around continuous improvement or changing things to better state or process to better processes or machines to better machines. So when you think about it, so one of the things Kaizen does this is through a lot of waste elimination, which is one of the big embodiment of Lean anyway. But waste elimination is one of those key principles. Creating value, of course. I mentioned value earlier. Talking about standardizing your processes, how you do things, operational excellence, looking at metrics and KPIs and things that can get you there. Respecting people, of course, like I say, you have to work with people. It's very people driven. So you have to work with people. And of course, another thing is around focus improvement. So it's those improvements that are very focused that you can work on. There's a lot of things. I just gave you some of the very basic ones that you can consider. As a follow-up, I think another question that I've received that I've seen is how can companies integrate Kaizen into their current business process and culture? So how do you bring Kaizen into your business? That's essentially what they're asking. So what they mean, what they're asking is you have a business going on, but you want to bring Kaizen into it. So how do you bring those concepts? So one of the things you can do is training, of course, training people to new concept, new tools, how Kaizen works, how you can employ it, how you can use it, that kind of thing. Establishing improvement ideas program. So they'll give you some Kaizen ideas. By doing so, they'll come up with something out there that they see that needs improvement or needs to be worked on. Something around maybe it's like aligning your business culture to Kaizen culture. So you may have a business, it's going on, but it's not Kaizen oriented, it's not continuous improvement oriented. So you need to align your business to those concepts. And of course, setting expectations with the team. Teamwork is a very strong concept there as well. That you can, what you can bring into your culture as well. And of course, I always like to also say metrics, data is everything. So bring the theory around key performance indicators and how to use them around your business to see how you're performing. So there's a lot of them that you can, there's a lot of those ways to integrate Kaizen into existing business process or systems or culture. But those are some of them. Those are some of them that I just gave you there. Another question that I've seen, it's around the concept of if you don't have Kaizen, how do you get started? What's some of the first things you need to do to bring Kaizen into your business? Or what's some of the things you can do to bring Kaizen successfully in your business journey? All into your business culture, we talked about it, There's ways to get there. Of course, like you say, you can work around modalities, looking at what areas need improvement, of course. But some of the steps that I like to say is, if you do not know what to improve, you don't see problems within your business, you may not understand what Kaizen is going to be able to do. So one of the things I like to say, if you're starting a Kaizen journey, identify areas within your business or manufacturing operations that require enhancement, that require to be optimized, that require to be improved. When you look at those areas, then you can review gaps. Reviewing gaps in your process, getting feedback from the people that work around within your, different areas within your business, whether it's customer service, working on the floor, factory floor, working on the business, working on the counter if it's a retail business, a cashier, for example. People looking for, people working in areas that you actually don't even maybe spend more time to go, like receiving docks, where people are receiving goods in and out. So getting feedback from all those people is going to help you a lot. Reviewing gaps within the process, you can see those as if you do walkthroughs. Walking through, like I say, sometimes even having some kind of a vision around Kaizen, deciding with your executive team and maybe with your managers and others. So it's like, we need to, how to approach that. How do you guys get started? So a lot of that is going to give you an idea of how this Kaizen is going to be accepted, how people are going to appreciate it, what they're going to do. So those are key steps to do. I mean, don't skip those, and especially understanding how your business runs or operates. It's going to give you some ideas around what you can do to improve it. So some of these definitely challenges to your process, especially if you have most people familiar with the Lean or Six Sigma or the TKM or some of those big methodologies. They all are our principles. They all understand that anything you bring in on board sometimes may have some challenges before it's actually adopted and people buy into it. So Kaizen is similar to that. So, but some of the challenges we see within Kaizen when trying to implement Kaizen, I typically see myself, is inadequate training. So you don't have enough training. People don't understand what it is, how this works, or even how Lean works, or what is continuous improvement. They have no idea, or they have an idea, but they're very comfortable with what they do. So they don't want to get the next steps to get trained more on the details around improvements or Kaizen, or maybe Lean as a whole. So that's one of the challenges that you see, the lack of training or inadequate training. There's also lack of leadership, because like you say, even though Kaizen is bottom up in terms of execution, but Kaizen also requires management at the top level to delegate, to be able to buy into it so that they can sponsor projects, they can allow people, they can offer resources to be able to support Kaizen. So lack of leadership support can be a big problem. Also, normal resistance to change. I mean, if you've tried to change something and you haven't done it before, there's just normal feeling about, what is this going to do for me, kind of thing. So is it going to help? Is it going to change anything? That's what we call normal resistance to change. That happens when you do Kaizen as well. Ineffective communication, I see that too. We see that quite often. Sometimes you have an idea, you know what you want to do, but you cannot you don't have that, you haven't communicated that information to the rest of the people, to the rest of the team as to why and why it's important and how you're going to go about it. So the communication may not be very ineffective, or you maybe have passed that information to other managers, first line managers, or other supervisors, but they don't translate the message the same way. So the communication gets to the people that need to do those tasks in a different format or in a different way. They understand it differently. It takes time for them to buy into it. Another thing is, obviously, if you don't have the right feedback or you're not getting feedback from people, you may not understand what the appreciation for this concept for Kaizen is going to be. And data, like I mentioned before, sometimes data, you use it for so many factors, for so many ways, for so many reasons. In Kaizen, you also need data because you need to understand what is the current performance, so you can establish your your improvement plan around to where you want it to get and your future state as well. What does your future state look like? How do you want this process to change from this current state to what? What data are you using? So because you're gonna have to reference that data to in terms of your measurables to see whether you're making a change, an improvement or not. So lack of clear data and metrics can hamper your Kaizen activities sometimes. Now, you can still do Kaizen in some cases without a whole lot of data. Those are usually quick Kaizens or rapid improvement Kaizens that all you're looking for sometimes is getting the right information, look at the process, how it's working, and you just want to make a change quick, and you don't want to spend a whole lot of time digging into a lot of material and data and all that stuff. So you use the basic data that you have, basic information that you have, basic feedback that you have, and exploit it. But you need some kind of information or some data somewhat to be able to do your Kaizen. So that gives me, I've answered a few questions there in this series. I'll continue answering a few more questions. I'll be waiting for people to send me questions and I'll try to answer them for different webinars. But at least for this particular one, I feel that those are good answers. And I hope everybody will be able to continue appreciating us and participating in some of our webinars as we go along. And if you need any support, any help, any of our products and services, and you can always reach out to us either through the contact form provided or through some of the social media provided as well, or even through the WhatsApp number that is provided on the website. So thank you so much, and hope to be seeing you more. And please feel free to get into or order some of our services. I think you'll learn a lot more from them as well. Thank you so much. Have a good time out there. Thank you. Appreciate it.